Welcome to Dacey's Divas. Hi, I'm your host, Dacey. Today we have a real legal, accomplished diva who's out there making a difference every day. She loves her community, her husband, her dog, and she has truly made a difference. She was appointed 2 years ago to the Supreme Court, right?
To the Supreme Court
please
bar, yes.
welcome this beautiful diva, Kerri Jenness.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you for finally coming on. You're such a legal beagle. You're so busy all the time. And you look absolutely gorgeous. I love your dress. It's so stunning.
Thank you very much.
So let's talk a little bit, Kerri, if people don't know who you are, let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I am an attorney. I both live and work in beautiful downtown Lowell, which is the best place I've ever lived. I'm from the area originally. I grew up in Andover, but moved away for college and grad school and just moved back here about 9 years ago.
Nice.
And I had seen so much positive change and beautification that had happened in Lowell since I was a kid, and it was the place I wanted to be. And so I moved downtown, made a lot of friends, met my husband at a Spinners game, and I
love that story. So what, were you just hanging out at the Spinners? Were you there for work related?
I was there. I was supposed to be on a blind date with someone else that night, and it got canceled at about 4 o'clock. It was a beautiful July Friday evening, and I thought, well, I don't want to sit home by myself. So
good girl.
I knew the Spinners were a fantastic minor league team in our town, and I could walk to the ballpark. So I walked on down and struck up a conversation with this nice young man, and the rest is history. The rest is history.
Isn't that a beautiful venue? I know Sean Smith, who is the general manager over there, because I've covered an event for the Z-List, and it's just a beautiful venue that you can park and you're overlooking the Merrimack. It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
It's gorgeous. You've got the smokestacks in the background,
you do.
And the sunsets from the ballpark are beautiful. And every year they improve, they add new things, and they change it up. Right. We've been season ticket holders since we met.
That's
and
great.
We love going to the games.
Is that restaurant still there? Right there. I used to love going. I haven't been.
Oh, the barbecue.
Yes.
The Gator Pit. Yes.
Is that it?
Yes, it is.
That was always a fun. I don't remember what it was called before that, but that was always a fun.
Yeah, I forget what it used to be called, but yeah, it's very fun.
But you're right, and you don't have to drive all the way into Boston. It supports your local community.
Exactly.
Right? It's always good to support local. I believe in that 100%.
Me too. And you can bring kids, and you can have an evening out as a family without breaking the bank.
Right, without breaking the bank.
$50 to park.
Right.
Let alone going to the game.
I mean, it's great, but it's expensive.
And we're so lucky to have a Red Sox affiliate team right here in our town.
We are, and you are absolutely right with all of the new venues in Lowell and the restaurants and the art galleries, and there's so much, and the new construction and the building. I mean, the prices are really skyrocketing.
They are, which is good for.
Do you like the new registry? Is it right here? Yes.
The Judicial Center.
Yes,
it's gorgeous.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's been amazing just watching that go up, because that's not far from the building that I live in, and so I've seen the progress over the last couple of years.
Huge.
It's huge.
Is it open yet?
Nope. I think it's opening in the fall.
Is it in the fall?
Yes.
So what is going to be there?
So they're moving all of the Middlesex courts from Lowell and Woburn. So it'll be Lowell District Court, Lowell Superior Court, Woburn Superior Court. I don't remember if they're moving the probate and family court there or not. The Registry of Deeds, where Dick Howe is, that'll be there too.
Yes, Dick's a good guy, yes.
It'll be very convenient for those of us who work in law firms downtown. Just walk right over.
And parking.
There's
no parking downtown.
Right.
Parking is tough sometimes.
It is.
And you live next to Pete.
I do.
We have Vanna Howard, another diva. She lives right in the same building. I'll have to move down there.
It's fantastic. I love living downtown. It's a great community, and there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And
you were such a positive diva. Where did you go to school? Where did you go to undergrad and then college?
I went undergrad. I went to Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., which I always say it's a great school, and it's a great place to go to school, because so many things in D.C. are free.
Right.
The museums are free. There's a lot of music, and it's a great place to be a poor undergraduate. From there, I went to Indiana University, and I started a PhD in English. Did that for a few years, got my master's, and decided that I wanted a job when I graduated, and the PhD market wasn't terrific, and I missed New England, so I wanted to move back here. So I applied to law school and ended up going to Harvard Law School for my law degree, and which
smart.
I do my best. I work really hard.
You are very smart. Harvard, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what type of law do you practice?
So at Gallagher & Kavanaugh now, I work with small businesses and nonprofits in Lowell, helping them with their corporate needs, contracts.
So you're a corporate lawyer.
Corporate lawyer, and I do corporate litigation. If somebody doesn't fulfill a contract, and
So you have to go to court.
Yep. So I like going to court. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's
I can't see you being tough. You must be tough though.
I can
I can
be.
see you're so personable.
I'm friendly
and sweet.
I'm friendly but firm.
You're so nice to them. They're probably like, here, Kerri, here's the
Right?
money.
I mean, I'm
we'll
not,
pay off debt.
I've learned, I've been a lawyer for 15 years now, and you don't get very far being a jerk. I've seen other people, it's not something that's in my personality,
No.
but, if you're firm but fair,
Right.
and, we're all trying to get to a result that everybody can be happy with or at least live with.
Right.
And if you go into it with that attitude, you can usually accomplish what you need to.
You know that you are always a happy person. I met you the first time at the CBA. Was it the CBA?
Yes,
I can't
yeah.
remember. I mean, there's so many events that and you looked absolutely gorgeous. I don't know,
Thank
Pete,
you.
if you can show that picture. Are we off a little track of your gorgeous outfit that night? You were the MC. So
yes.
You do a lot with the CBA.
Yes, I'm the president of the board of Directors of CBA and Coalition for Better Acre, which is a fantastic organization that
It is.
provides.
There you are, right there with Sixto.
Sixto.
He's so good.
Sixto's amazing. Yes, he and I were co-chairs
Yes.
for the event, and he's now the vice president on the board. And yeah, CBA provides so much events, programming,
They do.
financial counseling, housing, all kinds of services to to help people move forward
Right.
and accomplish their goals.
I love Yun
Yun
Choi.
Ju.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. She's done a lot there too.
Yes.
And I'm actually working on that report. That will be. Can you believe that event? I haven't even put it in the paper yet, but it will be coming up.
Oh, great.
But that was a fun night, and I missed you because you were on a cruise.
I was. Unfortunately, yes. Before the date was picked for this year's 6 Degrees event, my husband and I had already booked.
Yeah, you need a break though, right, Kerri?
You do.
How important
You
is
do.
it to have a break?
Very important,
Yes.
honestly. Being gone for 2 weeks really just it clears your head. You need to totally disengage. If you want to be very good at what you do every day,
Right.
you need to give yourself a little break every
You
once in
do.
a while.
Did you bring did you answer emails? Did you work?
Nope.
You
I did
didn't
no work.
see?
I did
have to
no
learn
work.
to do that, really.
Yeah, it's hard in
It
this
is
day
hard.
and age to disengage. My husband actually took his email off of his phone, his work email, so that he wouldn't have access to it.
Smart.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I didn't go that far, but I did try not to check it.
Now, your husband, Wayne, seems very supportive. What does he do?
He is the information systems manager at the Lowell Community Health Center.
Oh, wow.
So he's in charge of the medical record software and basically all the software systems that keep the health center running.
Great organization.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And like me, he gets to walk to work. So we're both
perfect.
very lucky.
It is very good. So now let's talk about your little joy of your life, Lucy. Let's show a picture of Lucy.
Lucy. She's just her name is Lucy Larkham, after the
love that
poet and
story.
mill girl. And she's a great little dog. We adopted her from the shelter 3 years ago. And she loves Lowell. We go to the Lowell Walks events that
She's
Dick
so
Howe puts
popular.
on. She is. All the time I'll be walking around and people will say, "Hi, Lucy," and then they'll look at me and say, "I'm sorry, I don't know your name." And that's totally fine with me.
So why did you name her? Because you like the mill, Lucy Larkham. That's
Yeah,
a
we
great
just,
mill girl. I
you
think
know,
that's a great story.
I mean, we both love Lowell, and
Yeah.
we wanted her to have a connection to Lowell because we knew, from the minute we met her, we're like, this dog is going to love being an urban downtown dog. And
Right.
She goes to the patios at Fuse and
Oh, yeah, I see.
Tremonte.
Yeah.
and
She's got a
hangs
great
out.
little life, that
She
one.
does.
Yeah.
She's a very busy social schedule.
She does. What's your favorite restaurant? Do you have a favorite in Lowell?
There's so many great ones. We end up going to Warp and Weft a lot. I
Yeah.
really like the atmosphere in
Yes, I
there,
like it.
and all the Faulkners are great people.
Yeah.
And we love Tremonte. I love pizza.
Yeah,
It's my favorite food.
You look like you eat anything. You're so slim.
I eat a lot of pizza.
So let's talk about your happy time 2 years ago.
Yes.
So tell the viewers a little bit about that.
So-
you appointed. Go ahead.
So my law school, Harvard Law School, they organize an event every year where they give the option to alumni if they want to apply to be admitted to the Supreme Court bar. What that means is, every court that you practice in, you have to get admitted to. The Supreme Court has its own procedure where you fill an application, and then you can either do it by mail or you can go down to DC and be in the court and be sworn in as an attorney. And what that means is, if I ever had a case that got appealed up and went to the Supreme Court, I could argue it myself.
Right.
Otherwise, if you're not a member of the Supreme Court bar, you have to hire a local attorney who can do it for you.
Okay.
So, yep.
So how long was the application? Was it long? Did you
was-
have to use like big references?
I had to give a number of references, including people who were already members of the Supreme Court bar. So trying to track down among my friends, who would be able to do that for me. And you have to submit a certificate of good standing saying that, I'm attorney in good standing in Massachusetts and, get people who will.
What an honor.
It was
Good for
amazing.
you, Kerri. You should be so proud of yourself, what you've accomplished.
It was so cool. And just sitting in the Supreme Court, they don't let you take your camera or your phones in there, so I don't have any pictures.
Pete has a picture too we're going to show with the famous BG.
Yes.
Here we are right here. Yes.
So you get sworn into the court and they say your name in front of all the justices. And then afterward, they had a gathering for all the people in the Harvard group. And they said, we're going to try to get some justices to come in and say hi and take pictures with you guys. And I thought, great. And I got seated in the seat next to where the justice was going to sit. And we didn't know who it was going to be. So first it was Chief Justice Roberts, who was very nice.
Yeah.
And then Justice Kennedy, also very nice. And then we waited a little bit. And then this picture is when RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, walked into the room. And you can tell by the look on my face that was one of the best moments of my life.
She looks good.
She does. And she is sharp as a tack.
There was something recently. She got honored or something. I had saw her on Facebook.
Yep.
I had taken the picture, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah,
Do you
I can't remember what that is. She gets honored for so many things. It's hard to keep a track of
But you must have been like, wow, in awe, right?
I was speechless. I was literally speechless.
Here it was sworn in. Oh, a second woman with the 107th justice to serve in the United States Supreme Court.
Oh, cool.
Can you read that? Because I can't have my glasses.
Yep. So that
sworn
in.
I just saw that the other day. I said, I gotta take this for the show.
Oh yes. So that was a couple days ago, but back in 1993.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, so she's been serving since I graduated from college, which wasn't last week, and is still the day that we were there, she delivered one of the opinions, and folks asked her questions about it, and she's a fantastic human being.
How do you relax? Do you find time to have a balance?
I try. I run. So a couple mornings a week, I just get up an hour early and I run around downtown.
How far do you run?
Usually about 3 miles.
Wow, good for you.
I like to run races. I run 5Ks on the weekends. I ran the Humane Society one back in June, which was hilarious because a bunch of dogs ran it too. So it was chaotic but fun.
Did Lucy run with you?
She did not.
No, yeah.
She did not. She stayed with Wayne.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I.
Do you feel mentally, and physically being fit, you can function? Don't you feel like?
I feel so much better when I'm eating better and when I'm just, getting outside and just having a little time to myself. I mean, the downside of living where you work is that, there's really no time that I don't really have a commute or any time to kind of clear my head at the end of the day because I'm already home. Right. So it's nice in the mornings just to have that time.
Which you have to, and I think I profess that with women, you have to take care of yourself.
You do.
And a lot of women don't take care of themselves.
Right, and you're not
unfortunate.
You're no good to anyone else if you're working at the end of your rope.
Right, it's true. Tell us now a little bit about the walks with Dick Howe. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Dick Howe is a force of nature with what he does. I mean, he, in his day job as the Register of Deeds, he, helps people with purchasing homes and mortgages all day. And then he has organized the Lowell Walks, which are, this year they're on hiatus, but for the past 3 or 4 years, I think they started. Every Saturday morning in the summer, he's recruited great people who are experts in different areas to lead a group of people around downtown and point out sites. So he asked my husband and I a couple years ago if we would be interested in doing one, and we said absolutely. And one topic that hadn't been covered yet was crime.
And see, that's right up your alley.
Yeah,
right.
As an attorney, I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not a criminal attorney, but I know how these things work. So
I wanted to do that one too, and I had a prior commitment, and I wanted to see all the little spots. So what did you? There was like more than 200 people.
Yep, I think there were 212 people who came, and it was a 95 degree. It was a brutal day.
Right. But people showed up.
People showed up, and they had a great time. You walk. What I love about the Lowell Walks is, I live in this neighborhood. I walk around there every day. But you see things from a new perspective when this is where there was a diamond heist.
Right.
Or, this is where John Kerry was accused of breaking into a campaign competitor's headquarters.
Wow.
And, all this stuff is right around downtown.
Things that you don't really hear.
Right.
Was there any murders?
Yes.
What was it?
Well, there was one murder where a man murdered his wife and then pretended that they had been robbed, and
Was that back like recently? Was that back
No,
in
no.
the 1800s, like
That was,
years and years ago?
I think that was late 1800s.
Yeah.
Just we made a point to try to pick older crimes so that we wouldn't have anything that was sensitive that
Right.
people,
yeah.
might
Which
have.
is good though, because
Yeah.
then it's great to hear all that history from years ago.
And it's neat. There was my husband talked about a crime where they robbed a mail bag that was full of money off of the train when there used to be the train tracks that we have now in Lowell used to go all the way up to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And it was people from New York that were taking money up to New Hampshire, and they got their money got stolen.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
It was fascinating. It was fun doing the research. We used the Lowell Sun's archives
Yep.
and just the internet, and Dick Howe helped us with some crimes that he knew about.
Nitty gritty stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Right? So, all right. Now, some women questions.
Okay.
Who's a role model for a woman in your life?
I mean, that I know personally, or
Anything.
I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah. And why?
I mean, she was raised in a very traditional home, and she never took no for an answer. She knew that she was smart, and she worked hard and raised her children and took care of her husband when he had cancer when they were both law students, and she managed to accomplish a lot without sacrificing herself.
Which is important.
It's very important.
Where can women go today, Kerri, if they need help? Like, I know, like in our generation, you're probably much younger than me, but there's so much resources out there on the internet. Someone's down and out. Where can women go for help or legal help or something that's not expensive? Just women to go and help, like support groups.
That's a good question. I know that, I don't know the specifics, but I know the Health Center has a number of support groups. In terms of legal help, the Women's Bar Association, which is based out of Boston, they do referrals and they have events and stuff to help women if they need, if they're in a bad domestic situation. They have pro bono attorneys that will help women out.
Which is good.
Which is good and very important. I mean,
That is important. What was one of your favorite cases?
Boy. Well, so it's not a case, but back in the day, I worked at Mattel at the toy company in Los Angeles.
I remember you sending that resume to me, yes.
And I was in charge of anti-counterfeiting efforts. So that, when people would make fake Barbie dolls. And at one point during that period, I flew down to Brazil and went on a raid. I had a bulletproof vest and I had like armed guards, and we raided a factory that was making fake Barbie dolls and fake toys.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. It was amazing.
So what did you do? Did you shut them down?
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
we seized bags and bags of goods, and the
And
police
how do you
shut
know
them
they
down.
were like fake? It's like
So we had ways of knowing.
Yeah.
You can tell like this. It'll say Barley, Barlie, instead of Barbie. They don't do that great of a job.
No,
you can usually tell that
wow.
it's. That
Weren't you
it's a fake.
scared?
I was a little bit. We were driving around in a car without a license plate so that we couldn't be tracked. And
That's a great story.
yeah, it was neat. It was funny. I asked my little brother at the time. I was like, just in case, I'm going to put you on my insurance.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't even talk like that. But it was fine. I was fine.
Have you ever doubted yourself? I know we all
All
doubt.
the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Have you left the courtroom and doubted yourself and say, I don't know, did I do the right thing, or was that the right answer? And
What's funny is that I often have those questions before I go into court, but as I'm preparing, I get myself to the point that even if I didn't think I had the best position to begin with, once I'm in that courtroom,
you go to it.
I get to a place where I feel like I'm making the best argument I can, and I get confidence out of the process of doing the work, putting the work in to come up with arguments.
And you build confidence, it's more experience every day.
Exactly.
And no matter what you do, whether it's TV, whether it's being an attorney, whether it's the cafeteria mom, every day is you are building experience and you're learning.
And you're learning.
You learn every single day.
You do, and you make mistakes, and the world doesn't end. And the older I get, the more I'm like, I've been in tough situations at earlier points in my life, and everything eventually worked out. And I have more faith that that's.
And I'll get out of it.
Yep.
Why do we doubt ourselves?
I don't know.
It's why do we put so much pressure on ourselves?
I don't know. I mean, it's.
And we're educated. It's not like we're not, and we've done it, like you said, but we always doubt ourselves.
Yep.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, when I first started Harvard Law School, I was like, I keep waiting for them to figure out they made a mistake, and and like being like, listen, sorry, this, you're not supposed to be here. But then I sat through a couple classes, and I was like, okay, there are some people who are smarter than me. There are some people who maybe aren't smarter than me, and I belong here as much as anybody else does.
Wow. Are you serve on any other boards? The CBA?
CBA, I am the vice chair of the Lowell Historic Board.
Oh, good.
So
that's a good call. They were smart. Yeah.
It's fascinating. Again, as somebody who lives downtown, and I live in an old converted mill building and work in one. It's great. I love being able to be a part of keeping the city, keeping what's unique and amazing about Lowell.
Right. And naming your dog Lucy after Lucy Lockham, isn't that like the Mill Girls? They worked hard.
They did.
They didn't have an easy life.
No.
People don't realize that.
Oh no, they were fighting for a 14-hour day. That was going to be a shorter day than what they were doing. They were fighting for a 12-hour day. I mean, it's incomprehensible in this day and age, and they were sending their money home to their families. I mean, they weren't doing it for their own edification. They were doing it because they needed the money, and they stepped up and did what needed to be done. But yeah, it was not an easy position.
No, I agree. We only have a few minutes left.
Okay.
What if you had a magic wand? I love this question.
Okay.
I always ask this. And women was like, "Why do you ask that question?" Because I said it's so true. What would you wish for the young women out there in this type of environment? What would you wish for them?
I wish that they could see how beautiful they are exactly as they are right now. Yeah. I mean, so many of my friends, we look back at pictures of us as teenagers or think about things and think, I was so insecure and I thought I looked terrible and I thought I should be doing more or doing better. And like, we were all fine the whole time. So that's, I wish they could just have a moment of knowing their own beauty and power.
Yeah. That's true. Do you think it was our generation? We just worked. I mean, I don't know what your age is. I don't know what your, if you want to say how old you are. I mean, I'm 56, but was it our generation? We weren't focused on, we were more to go to school, to work.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, we were focused on, kind of self. I'm 48, so similar generation and.
Well, younger. Yeah.
But I think, I mean, I had goals. I had things I wanted to do and achieve.
I had goals too.
And
we had to work.
And I mean, I started working when I was 14 years old, and I worked throughout college. I worked 20 hours a week during law school. It's
here.
I'm very driven, and that's the way I was brought up. Is if you want to achieve things, you have to work really hard for them. And I think that in our generation there was less focus on are you happy? Are you doing things that fulfill yourself? And you don't have to always be pursuing the toughest course. You can relax a little bit every once in a while.
How important is it to volunteer or to make a difference?
It's huge. I mean, most of the best connections that I've made in Lowell are because I showed up for an event and asked what I could do to help. Or, I reached out to an organization I thought was doing good work and went to their events and got to know them.
Yeah. And it's great. All these events, it is good to, if you're, it is good to go and mix and mingle and you learn, and it's great to interact. Do you stay mainly in Lowell? Do you go out of the Lowell area? You're a big force in Lowell. You're a big influence, right, Kerri? Yes, you are.
I do.
Yes.
I do stay mainly in Lowell. I mean, in part, again, I live downtown. I can walk to most of these events, and it's, and I really care about the city, and I'm very.
You can tell. You're
I'm
so
very
passionate.
invested. It's the best place I've ever lived. I've lived in the middle of the country in both coasts, and Lowell just has so much to offer, and it's changing and growing, and it's fun to be part of that process.
Well, we're wrapping up. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me feel like a diva today.
You are a diva, and always a diva. My traditional Godiva chocolate.
Thank you.
Beautiful diva in you. And I've got one for little Lucy.
Oh, Lucy will be delighted.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kerri. And if anyone knows a spectacular diva like Kerri Jenness, please don't forget, Dacey, you can check out my websites. And I hope you have a great summer ending soon. Right, Kerri?
Yeah, unfortunately ending soon. But fall is beautiful too.
It is. Hey, thank you for watching Dacey's Divas, and I will see you soon.